From the ashes of humble beginnings, rise the sense of regeneration, signaling the dawn of a new age. The foundations of the old and antiquated, now demolished, and in its place the newly built pillars of fearlessness and opportunity. Dreams are clearer, expectations are set higher, and the quest for championship gold is even stronger than it's ever been before. At one time or another, everything goes through a period of evolution. The world of wrestling is no different. Welcome to a new age. Welcome to a new era. Welcome to a new FWE.
From the hallowed grounds of Madison Square Garden, we welcome you to the third season premiere of Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment, and by proxy of the brand extension, the inaugural episode of Thursday Night Throwdown. I'm Seth Cole, alongside the Wayfinder Cruiser Champion Jack Mitchell, and Jack, it is the first night of the FWE Draft.
It's a massive night here at the world's most famous arena here in Madison Square Garden. We're going to get to find out the rosters of our brands here, and it's insane what we've got going on here. There's a lot of things to look forward to at the draft here tonight.
Lot of individuals backstage awaiting the fate. Will they be representing Thursday nights or Saturday nights? We already know a few that have already been locked into their respective bands by proxy of the fallout of Combat Evolved.
You can see there, Will Turner, the new Tri-Wizard champion after cashing in his power-up briefcase back at Combat Evolved. Carlos Zimmerman and Mulan locked into Thursday nights. And you've got Shuri, Kita, and Wonder Woman, believe it or not, as the United States champion on the men's side on Saturday Night Smash.
And we know that Shuri is going to be defending that Women's Universal Championship against Moana. Get to see those two run it back after their encounter this past Thursday night at Combat Evolved. Some history there in the making. The last time that we're ever going to see a PLA take place on Thursday nights is that'll shift over to Sunday nights.
Yeah, Sunday nights will be the new homes of PLEs. We'll also have the Saturday night at Springfield being rebranded to Sunday night at Springfield. So huge things coming here in our third season of FWE. And we're going to, at some point during the draft, find out the location of Paramount as well.
And it looks like we're kicking off the night with the individual who left Combat Evolved, the new Tri-Wizard champion. As you mentioned, cashed in that power-up briefcase on Michael Norman, who had just won the belt, the vacant belt, in that one-on-one matchup between himself and Shaggy Rogers, and did so under the guise of the Shadow Lord.
Yeah, that was certainly, you and I, we were talking about how we thought that was Nick Gunther. That certainly caught all of us off guard. The lights go out, they come back on, and it's Will Turner holding that briefcase. Two big moves later, he's the new Tri-Wizard champion. Michael Norman's reign at the top did not last long at all.
4 times the men and women have held the briefcase. 4 times they have walked out successful cash-ins as champions. Let's hear from William Turner.
Now, I'm not going to take up too much of your time. We got a big night ahead of us. But after Power Up, it was made perfectly clear by the family that they saw me and my newly won briefcase as a threat to their bid for ultimate power in FWE. Their post-match attack had the purpose of sending a clear message that if I were ever to cash in my briefcase on anyone, it had better not be against one of them. But instead of being scared off, they made me more determined than ever to take their empire down. Now I'll admit, the quest to take the tag team titles for them did not go exactly according to plan. But then it got me thinking. The best way to take down a snake is to go directly for the head. I'll be honest, I was rooting for Michael to win the title last week at Combat Evolved, because I knew that if he did, that was going to be my moment to have him staring up at the lights mere moments after he was on top of the world. And now, finally, I have brought gold to the crew and stand here before you as your new FWE Tri-Wizard Champion. Now, as I said, tonight is a very special night, and it's not all about me. It's about the men and women backstage who are awaiting the fate of what brand they will be representing going forward. I'm very much looking forward to holding and defending this title on the Thursday Night Throwdown brand. And I would like to thank Commissioner Woody for allowing me the privilege of announcing the very first pick in the FWE draft. For Thursday Night Throwdown, the very first pick is my gang, the Black Pearl Crew.
Wow!
Bombshell alert. The first round pick, the first overall pick in the draft is going to be the Black Pearl Crew on Thursday nights.
William Turner will not be alone. He'll be joined by Jack Sparrow, Angelica Teach, and former Women's Universal Champion Elizabeth Swan. And look who else is coming over to Thursday nights as well. The Thrill Seekers, part of the tag team division. Former Intercontinental Champion Robbie Gilvin and Moana, the most recent holder of the Universal Championship, who gets her title rematch this Saturday night.
Yeah, she does, and some big names as well. Looks like they're really leaning into the tag team division early on here with the Thrill Seekers joining Thursday nights.
I'm very much looking forward to being here every Thursday night and having my mates along with me. Thank you all for this opportunity here tonight.
Lights went out.
William Turner, you crossed a line you don't get to walk back from. At Combat Evolved, when Michael Norm was already broken, you didn't have the guts to show your face. So you hid behind mine. My clothes, my mask, my reputation. You ambushed him, cashed in that power-up briefcase, and stole the Tri-Wizard Championship while wearing my skin. You didn't just fool Michael Norman, you tried to fool the fans. How could you hope to earn their support like that? See these clothes? This isn't gear. This is fear. This is something I earned by ruining people just like you. And you put it on like a costume so you could pretend you were capable of that kind of damage. But tonight, the disguise comes off. Because I'm not asking you for a match. I'm demanding retribution. One-on-one. Tonight. No tricks. No masks. No shortcuts. No Michael Norman lying helpless for you to prey on. Just you standing across from the man whose identity you stole. And when I'm done with you, William Turner, you won't be remembered as the Tri-Wizard Champion who outsmarted everyone at Combat Evolved. You'll be remembered as the pathetic fraud who woke something in me he never should have touched. You wanted to be with me for one night? Do you fear death? Do you fear that dark abyss? All your deeds laid bare? All your sins punished? Tonight, you'll find out what that means.
Well, it would certainly appear that what occurred at Combat Evolved has not gone unnoticed by the former Shadow Lord Nick Gunther. William Turner, Nick Gunther, they will go one-on-one, it appears, here tonight on Thursday Night Throwdown. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you back here to Thursday Night Throwdown. We've already gotten the first pick for the Thursday Night brand. We now head backstage to Commissioner Nick Fury to see who the first pick will be for Saturday nights.
I cannot tell you how honored I am to be named the Commissioner of Saturday Night Smash. I wish Commissioner Woody the best of luck on Thursday nights, but rest assured I will do all I can to see that Saturday Night Smash is the superior brand. To that end, I'm very pleased to announce that my first pick in the FWE draft is a young man I've gotten to know very well. Soon to make his first in-ring appearance. My first pick is Spider-Man.
Did he just say Spider-Man? I think he did, Spider-Man. Now, we've been told that there were going to be some new names in the draft pool that have never been on the FWE roster, and it looks like Nick Fury is tapping into that immediately. Spider-Man, the first pick for Saturday Night Smash, as well as former Intercontinental Champion Dylan Poteet, the current Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Champion Harley Quinn, along with Joker, Penguin, and the former Women's Universal Champion Poison Ivy, the Gotham Inmates, and the inaugural Cruiserweight Champion in the women's division, Susan Storm, will all be a part of the Saturday Night roster. As I'm bringing you this coverage of this match solo, Jack Mitchell has gone backstage as he'll be participating in 6-person tag team action.
Introducing first, from Houston, Texas, weighing in at 163 pounds, the Intercontinental Champion, Carlos Z.
It was a big night for Carlos Zimmerman on the pre-show of Combat Evolved as he was able to successfully defend the Intercontinental Championship from Nick Gunther. Carlos Zimmerman continuing his reign in the mid-card division, and as we mentioned earlier on tonight, by proxy of having that belt around his waist, he came in tonight already drafted to the Thursday Night Throwdown brand.
From Mount Olympus, the United States Champion, Wonder Woman, the Princess Diana.
One of the biggest shockers of the latest PLE, heck, maybe the biggest shocker in fantasy wrestling entertainment overall. Wonder Woman walking out as the new United States Champion, now locked to the Saturday Night Smash brand, and not only that, ended the over 300-day reign, 333 days to be exact, that Matt McIntyre had with that title belt.
From Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 200 pounds, the men's Cruiserweight Champion, the
Well, also a big night for my fellow commentator Jack Mitchell as he continues his second reign as the Wayfinder Cruiser Champion, defeating Baymax. Now coming into tonight, 50 days into this reign. All three individuals teaming up here tonight, holding championship gold. However, Jack Mitchell is a name that is in the draft pool. The Cruiserweight title will be defended on both Thursdays and Saturday nights. So Mitchell's going to have his head on a swivel, and by proxy, is not locked into any particular brand. We'll have to see whether Thursday nights or Saturday nights look to claim the man who holds that Cruiserweight title.
accompanied by Edwards at a combined weight of 708 pounds. Michael Norton and
Well, definitely an up and down night for the family, who you know coming into this evening wanted all their members to have gold around their waists. Michael Norman did, for a brief moment, hold the Tri-Wizard Championship before he was cashed in on. Matt McIntyre, unfamiliar to see him without a belt around his waist after losing the United States Championship to Wonder Woman. Ed and Eddie were the only two that were able to retain their gold, as they were able to defeat the Thrill Seekers at Combat Evolved, the only two in the family that now have championship belts around their waist. The family looking for a little retribution here tonight in six-person tag team action. And we're kicking things off here with Ed on the side of the family, Carlos Zimmerman, the Intercontinental Champion. And Ed displaying that power right out of the gate. Power bomb to Carlos Zimmerman. Big splash there by Ed. Obviously as well by proxy of not holding belts here. Look, that's covered by Carlos Zimmerman, looking for the roll-up on Ed. And Ed's going to kick out at one. Michael Norman, Matt McIntyre, they now fall into the draft pool. The tag team titles, both the men's and the women's, going to be defended on both brands as well, similar to the cruiserweight titles. So Ed and Eddie, who currently hold the men's tag team championships, the daughters of Thanos, who won the women's tag team belts from Belle and Rapunzel during the pre-show of Combat Evolved. They are in the draft pool here, as Jack Mitchell now legal along with Michael Norman, and a big move there by Jack, almost a modified whisper in the wind, takes Michael Norman down, cover is in, and a kick out at one. We've already had the first official picks by both Commissioner Woody and Commissioner Nick Fury for Thursday Night Throwdown and Saturday Night Smash. Oh, Dragon Corkscrew takes down Jack Mitchell, courtesy of Michael Norman. We will have the second and third rounds of the draft. Those picks will be announced during the course of the evening. Rounds 4 through 6, you'll be seeing the announcements of those this Saturday night on the inaugural episode of Saturday Night Smash. And Jack alluded to this as well. We are going to be finding out the location of Paramount, the second iteration of that PLE. That'll be taking place this Saturday night, so be sure to join us for Saturday Night Smash, as Mitchell rolling to the outside, and the legal participant Ed right there, ready to cut him off. Referee Ernest Wright going to begin the 10 count here, as Ed almost seemingly ignoring it for the time being, wrenching the back of Mitchell across his knee. And now looking to deposit him back into the ring here, as referee halfway to that 10 count. Looks like Ed will make his way in between the ropes. Now just laying in those shots to the upper back of Mitchell. Shoots the half, hooks the leg for the cover, and a kick out at 2 by Mitchell. A lot of questions as to who's going to be able to step up and wrestle those tag team titles away from the family. Ed and Eddie successfully defending those belts against William Turner and Jack Sparrow, and most recently against the Thrill Seekers at Combat Evolved, as now makes in the tag to what's got to be a very frustrated Matt McIntyre, who holds the record for longest title reign here in FWE, 333 days as United States Champion. Throws Jack Mitchell up over the top rope, and all gonna lay in the most overused move In fantasy wrestling entertainment, the 10 beats of the Batterum right to the chest of the the Wayfinder Cruiser Championship. There's so many championships here in FWE, it's hard to keep track of all of them. Makes the tag into Michael Norman, who spears Carlos Zimmerman off the apron. Takes a shot at Wonder Woman, who answers back in kind. And now Matt McIntyre deposits Mitchell from the outside back in to Norman. Oh! Big kick. Was that a Claymore? I think that might have been a Claymore from out of nowhere by Mitchell. Cover is in, and Ed with the quick save. Oh, but then meets a drop kick for his troubles. Tag into Carlos Zimmerman. Once this match is over and Jack returns to the commentary desk, we're going to be talking quite a bit about this, both Thursday nights and Saturday nights, and I wouldn't say a bit of a predicament, but an interesting situation, because we know that the Tri-Wizard Championship is going to be represented on Thursday nights. The Women's Universal Championship is going to be represented on Saturday nights, but that basically leaves now both brands without a main title in their respective divisions. No women's main title for Thursday nights, no men's main title for Saturday nights. We do understand that there are going to be some new title belts unveiled for those respective brands. Some tournaments will be in place, but we'll talk a little bit more in depth about that later on here in tonight's episode, as Michael Norman, Dominator to Carlos Zimmerman, shoots into the cover, and Wonder Woman gonna make the breakup there at 2. Big right hand by Michael Norman. Slams Carlos down to the mat and now heads over to the corner to make the tag to Matt McIntyre. Wonder Woman wants the tag from Zimmerman's gonna get it. We're gonna run it back from Combat Evolved. Pop-up Samoan drop by Wonder Woman. The United States champion takes down the former champ. The man who held the belt for 333 days, in his own words, was the champ that no man could defeat. Well, he was right. But Wonder Woman had to jump through hoops to get the shot, capitalized on it, and ended the longest title streak in FWE history, has now taken it to Matt McIntyre once again, this time on the outside with a series of clotheslines. Referee was up to a count of 6. He'll break that 10 count as both participants back inside of the ring now. One would certainly have to think that Matt McIntyre potentially would have a title rematch at some point here. There's a lot of individuals who are probably heading out of Combat Evolved feeling that they deserve rematches for the title. Michael Norman would certainly fit under that category, as let's not forget, he is now officially, statistically, a former Tri-Wizard champion as the lasso of truth by Wonder Woman. This is what helped her to win the United States Championship from Matt McIntyre at Combat Evolved, and Michael Norman will not allow the pin to take place here tonight. Oh, and a spear! May have just cut Matt McIntyre in half, and he's going to make the quick tag to Michael Norman. Michael going for a shoulder block there, usually knocks down most individuals, not Wonder Woman, who now, oh, a pedigree to Norman. And now Michael out on his feet. Oh, exchange of chops. Right hand seemingly ineffective. Michael not used to going up against an individual that can match him in the power and strength department, but now hoists Wonder Woman up, bench press position, and brings her down to the canvas below. Oh, and now debt is paid. That's how Michael won the Tri-Wizard Championship from Shaggy Rogers, and Jack Mitchell will break up the pinfall attempt. We already mentioned that this Saturday night, Moana's going to get her rematch for the Women's Universal Championship. Shuri, the winner of that belt at the Combat Evolved PLE. As we continue to roll on the first ever FWE draft here, you can feel the aura inside of the historic Madison Square Garden, where we will be both tonight and this Saturday night as Jawbreaker by Ed. Cover is in on Wonder Woman and Carlos Zimmerman goes in to break it up. And Ed's not done, might be setting up for the second Jawbreaker. No, reversal! Reversal Jawbreaker by Wonder Woman. But did you notice how it didn't even bring Ed down to a knee? Now Ed back in control, Irish whipped. Looked like he was gonna go for the tag there for Matt McIntyre, and Matt jumped off the apron, did not accept it. So Ed still having to continue to fight as Wonder Woman makes the tag into Carlos Zimmerman. Turn around, Ed. Oh, he did. Right into a Superman punch. Cover in by Zimmerman, and a kick out by Ed at 2. We're just getting the night kicked off, folks. Big slam there by Ed. Later on tonight in our main event. Oh, hold the phone! Jawbreaker once again. This time on Carlos. Cover is in on Zimmerman. Oh, and Zimmerman got the shoulder up at 2. Not many have been able to kick out of the Jawbreaker, but Zimmerman just did. And later on tonight in our main event, the Daughters of Thanos, the new Women's Disney Tag Team Champions, they put the belts on the line. It's a title rematch for Rapunzel and Belle, the Disney Queens. It will be determined in tornado tag style rules. And remember, the Daughters of Thanos currently hold those belts, but they are not locked to any particular brand. As Zimmerman with a spear to Michael Norman. Cover is in. And oh, Michael kicked out at 2. Matt came in to break it up. Would not have been in time. Michael got the shoulder up at 2.5. Now Zimmerman ushering Michael back to his feet up on that second rope. Oh, gracious. Meteora, but I believe he ended up kind of catching Michael in the back rather than frontwards. Took Michael face first down into the canvas, and Michael is laying lifeless here. Kind of separating the legal participant Ed from getting to Zimmerman. Now the two will lock up, and oh wait, Michael's not legal. Michael's got to get out of the ring. Referee Ernest Wright a little lenient right there. Now Zimmerman with a chop block to the knee of Ed. Big kick to the lower back. You could hear echoing through this arena. Whoa, couple of cheap shots taken there by both Michael and Matt. Not sure either hit their mark or they just kind of deflected off of Zimmerman. Now a series of forearm shots might be setting up for that reverse GTS. Ed's lights are out. Cover is in, and Michael with the breakup. Zimmerman not too pleased about that. Tried to get Michael before he escaped back to the outside. Now Carlos with the tag into Mitchell. Ed down. Mitchell looking to take advantage of the situation. Off the ropes. Big punt to the side of the head. And now I thought he was going to go maybe up top, maybe set up for a springboard of some kind. Now he'll head back to the outside. Again, changes his mind, does Mitchell. Going to try a third attempt here, perhaps. Not sure what exactly he's trying to set up for, but all that time wasted might cost him as he now finds himself in the grips of the bear hug. Submission move here. Wells placing those elbows, boxing the ears, going to fight out of it. Oh! And a Claymore again from out of nowhere. Cover in by Mitchell. And the champions will pick up the victory.
Here are your winners, Carlos
You gotta wonder after that performance if maybe Jack Mitchell will move up the drafting order. We will have to wait and see, as up next, it'll be the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Champion Harley Quinn. One-on-one action as she takes on one half of Catching Fireflies in Katniss Everdeen. We welcome you back here to the FWE Draft. Jack Mitchell joins me back here at the commentary table. And just in, Jack, the next pick has come in for Thursday Night Throwdown. The entire faction of the Disney Queens is headed to Thursday nights.
That feels like the perfect pick for Thursday Night Throwdown. The Disney Queens obviously coming off of massive success in that Lost Empire lockdown match that they had at Combat Evolved. You can also see Carson Gum, the Unholy Union, and Jessica Shelton going to join them here in round 2.
A lot of former champions there. Carson Gum, a former Wayfinder Cruiser champion. The Unholy Union formerly held the Women's Disney Tag Team belts. And Jessica Shelton, a former Hardcore champion. And hey, congratulations on that tag team matchup. I mentioned this, and it's got to probably be at the back of your mind as well. Maybe being on the winning side of that tag team bout may have you a little further up the draft order here tonight.
If Woody and Nick Fury are watching, I hope they see that Claymore out of nowhere type of explosive offense and know what they're going to get if they draft either brand.
Of course, as well, we know that all these championships that we see transferring to Thursday nights and Saturday nights, we'll see probably many of them defended on August 2nd. As can you believe, as we head into our 3rd season of Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment, for the first time we will be heading back to a PLE, the first ever PLE here in FWE. We're going back to Fantasia.
Can't wait. That's going to be really, really fun. I can't wait to run it back at Fantasia. I don't think I actually even had a match at the last time we did Fantasia.
I don't think you did either.
See if I can get on the card. I think I was in a battle royal and I got immediately thrown out of the ring by Thanos. And you know where that went to.
I was going to say, that didn't start any rivalry of any kind.
Accompanied by Ivy, representing the inmates from the city of Atlantis, the Women's Cruiserweight Champion, Harley Quinn.
Well, several champions headed into Combat Evolved with their belts and walked out titleless. Black Widow was one of those individuals, as Harley Quinn was able to defeat her in a submission match to be the 3rd woman to ever hold the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship. And we ended up finding out not too long ago, earlier on tonight, that Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, along with Joker and Penguin of the Gotham Inmates, they will be an official part of Saturday Night Smash's roster.
They don't really have to have that in the back of their minds anymore. They know exactly where they're going to be on the roster. They can focus on this matchup here. Great momentum for Harley Quinn as of late as well. I mean, she was able to get that championship match at Combat Evolved because she tapped out Maui of all people. And the submission match worked in her favor at the PLE.
Non-title match here between Harley Quinn and Katniss Everdeen, but you would certainly have to think, as we know that both the Cruiserweight division belts, the one you currently hold and the one that Harley Quinn now has in her possession, that will be a belt that will be defended across both brands.
This means your head is going to be on a swivel. You know, if you get drafted to one brand while holding one of those floating titles, I think, as far as I'm aware, you're only going to appear on that one brand, but anyone from any brand can show up and challenge you. So
that's exactly correct.
Keep your wits about you in that regard.
You see Ellie there on the outside as hold on, roll up here by Katniss, trying to pick up a quick victory against Harley Quinn. Now Harley turns it around. jackknife cover, and both going to get a 1 count here. Little mind games in the early going, but see Ellie there on the outside. Now, we do understand there has not been an official date set, but Ellie will have a rematch for the female fighting championship. That is a belt currently held by Mulan. You will not see here tonight, and more than likely not next week either, you will not see the 3 members of the Disney Queens and the 3 members of Disney Strong Style that were involved in that hellacious Lost Empire lockdown matchup at Combat Evolved. All have not been medically cleared to compete at this time, which is why that date between Ellie and Mulan hangs in the balance for the time being.
And that should certainly make things interesting for what's going to happen later tonight in our main event as well, because the tag team titles on the women's side are on the line.
That's a great point. Yeah, the 2 women that were not involved in that Lost Empire lockdown match of the Disney Queens, Belle and Rapunzel, going to be in action looking to reclaim their belts, looking to chase a little history as well. They already have made history. They're the only duo that have held the women's Disney tag team title belts now 3 times. If they win tonight, it would be a historic 4th time that they would have a reign in the tag team division.
There have not been any champions in FWE history that have reigned for 4 times as Harley Quinn's head just got driven into the ring apron.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong, the only other individual that's had a belt 3 times, that was Dylan Young, right? Tri-Wizard title?
That's correct.
You see the referee at the count of 7 here. Katniss, I'm sure, wouldn't mind taking a count-out victory against Harley Quinn, but Harley back to her feet, back in at 8. This matchup continues on.
Big Harley Quinn trying to stay on the offensive, though. Katniss rolling out to the outside, now back in. Oh, almost got speared. I think she caught some of it, not all of it.
We talk about Ellie having a future title shot for the female fighting championship. What could it mean for Katniss here tonight if she's able to pick up a victory against Harley Quinn, currently the holder of the Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship?
Harley Quinn right now, I mean, that's... You know, she's really good at the whole mind game sort of thing as well, and I feel like submissions as well are going to play into her favor. I wouldn't be surprised if she goes for one in this matchup instead of any kind of other move that put Katniss away. That just depends on how the match plays out.
It's going to be interesting to see. You know, we obviously at this point in time know where Harley Quinn is going, along with the rest of the Gotham inmates, but, you know, jury kind of still out in terms of Black Widow. One would have to wonder if the story between Black Widow and Harley Quinn is over, because you and I, maybe out of all the matchups that we had between the pre-show and the main event, the one that surprised us the most of how quickly it ended was that submission match between Quinn and Widow.
Yeah, but it felt like Black Widow had all the momentum in the world in that matchup, and then that one huge move from Harley Quinn at the end made Black Widow tap out. We were definitely caught off guard. There's the spear. That one connects.
From between the ropes, using that middle rope to spring into the spear and almost put Katniss away. Mention the fact that Harley Quinn's only the 3rd woman to hold that Cozy Cone Cruiserweight Championship. Susan Storm, the inaugural holder of that belt. Black Widow, the most recent holder, and now Harley Quinn has it in her possession. Double axe handle, like maybe the chin area there of Katniss, and now setting her up for the Psycho Trap.
Ooh. Not gonna be it. Not going to the cover just yet.
Oh, and this is why.
For submission.
Gotham's gate locked in, nowhere close to the ropes for Katniss, and has to tap out.
Not even a chance.
Here is your winner, Harley Quinn.
Well, Harley is going to be a part, we know, of the Saturday Night Smash brand, but I think that was a statement victory to both women rosters. Hey, come for my title, but you're going to have to go through me to get it.
You're going to have to go through me. You're going to have to go through the Gotham's gates. It's that brutal submission game. I mentioned it earlier. It was going to come into play, and it certainly did, and it paid dividends for Harley Quinn.
Well, up next, it'll be tag team action. The Thrill Seekers, coming off that loss at Combat Evolved, will take on the Friends from Work, and we understand our next draft pick for Saturday Night Smash is next. welcome you back here to our first night of the FWE Draft. We now know the second pick for Saturday Night Smash. There you go. That Claymore out of nowhere must have turned some heads backstage, particularly Nick Furious. Congratulations, my friend. You and that Cruiserweight Championship are headed to Saturday nights.
Yeah, we are, but some interesting picks there as well alongside me here in round 2, notably Thanos, but also the Daughters of Thanos and the Republic all joining us in Saturday nights in round 2. Maybe some intentional choices there from Nick Fury, but it is what it is.
And interesting, as you mentioned, the Daughters of Thanos, they put those Women's Disney Tag Team titles on the line here tonight against the Disney Queens, who we know are already locked into Thursday night's roster, so those belts may end up changing brands in the span of this first night of the FWE Draft.
That's just what the draft can do for you. Things can change on a dime here.
The following contest is a tag team match set for one fall. On the way to the ring, at a combined weight of 423 pounds, Dylan Young and Kyle Matthews, the Thrill Seeker.
Well, I mentioned during that 6-person tag match earlier tonight, it seems like we're entering into the territory of asking who can take the belts from Ed and Eddie of the family. These are the two individuals that came up short this past Thursday night.
The Thrill Seekers, you know, it really feels like they're determined to make a big step here to get some momentum back in their favor here tonight. These two, been a long time since they held tag team gold, and it's really just a matter of what comes next now that they haven't had the opportunity to do so yet.
I talked to them earlier on tonight, and they said that this is their redemption tour to try and get back up to the top. They're looking to see if they can march their way through former teams that have held those belts, and this is indeed one of those teams, but what a mountain to climb.
And Troy, the Dangerous Alliance.
It has been a minute since we have seen Hulk and Thor, the friends from work, out of the Avengers in tag team action. I'll be very curious to see what they have to bring to the table here tonight, especially knowing that they still have to be selected for the draft.
As mentioned, former holders of the Men's Disney Tag Team Championship belts. Hulk in his own right in singles competition, a former Tri-Wizard champion, but certainly here tonight, and I feel like in the weeks to come, it's going to be all about momentum in the tag team division on both the men's and the women's side to try and get an opportunity at those tag team championships, which, as we continue to talk about, are going to be defended across both brands.
Well, momentum, but I guess in this case too, these teams are maybe also coming in. I think the Avengers specifically coming into this match with the mindset of proving to our general managers that they have what it takes to be drafted to the brands.
Dylan
How
Young
often
starting
do you
things
see
out.
somebody
Wow.
shove Hulk away like that? Like Dylan
Yeah,
did?
gracious. Dylan Young, a couple of former Tri-Wizard champions locking up here to start this thing off. Dylan stands at, I believe, 6'5". Hulk towering over him, but little test of strength between the two right in the early going. Now, I know you were backstage getting ready for your matchup, but I have to ask, now that we know you are officially going to be on the Saturday Night Smash brand, did you happen to see who else is heading there in that first pick? Did you even know Spider-Man was on the draft pool tonight?
I did not know. I didn't even know he was in the building, I'll be perfectly honest, but it is cool that he's making his debut on the FWE roster. Kind of a bold strategy, too, from Nick Fury to choose somebody who's new to FWE as the first pick in the first round of the draft. So
yeah, kind of an unknown to your point there. But then you kind of think back to individuals that we've seen. We kind of considered them green, a little wet behind the ears, never been inside of the ring. I kind of look in the direction of Poison Ivy. I mean, she skyrocketed, it seemed, up to the Women's Universal Championship in a very short span of time. We could see the same thing happen with Spider-Man and maybe some other names that we haven't yet had revealed here. We've been told there are quite a number of surprise names that are in this draft pool here tonight and this coming Saturday evening.
Thor just got tagged in. I was getting PTSD to that This Is Your Life Jack Mitchell match that happened. I was looking at the man who I took the Tri-Wizard Championship from against the man who took it from me. Now, Thor is legal, and like you mentioned too, we are really excited to see who is new here to FWE, who makes their way down that ramp and adds to the unpredictability factor of these next 2 nights here.
Big power slam by Thor. Cover in here on Dylan Young, and Dylan gonna power out at 2. You know, we mentioned about the Thrill Seekers going into that matchup at Combat Evolved against Ed and Eddie. It seemed like it was more of a level playing field between those 2 teams, which was not something we could have said in the previous bout between the Black Pearl crew and
Look
the
out.
family. Whoa, gracious. I guess that's why he wears a cape.
Thank God there's no Jets nearby or anything like that.
We're in control here of Dylan Young. Kyle, I don't believe, has been tagged into this matchup yet, so he is still very fresh.
I think Kyle might have hit 1 cheap shot on Hulk, but that's all he's really contributed to this matchup so far.
Oh!
Dylan, it would be wise to look for a tag. That was a nice reversal there. He's going to go into the cover. Kick out at 1 by Thor.
If anything, create some separation so he could make the tag to Kyle Matthews, but Thor going to cut him off. Tags in Hulk. Good frequent tags here between the friends from work. And you mentioned it's been a minute since we've seen these 2 tag together. You'd have to wonder if there might be a little ring rust. Doesn't look like it.
There's the tag from Dylan to Kyle, but Kyle going to have to run right into Thor or into Hulk here. I mean, it doesn't really make a difference whether it's Thor or Hulk. These guys are big. They can change the match on a dime.
Now, I do have on good authority that cover here by Kyle on Hulk, and Hulk going to kick out. Kyle, of course, and Dylan Young, part of We the Coasters. They ride roller coasters, and I have it on good authority that the Incredible Hulk is one of Kyle's favorite roller coasters at Universal Studios. This Incredible Hulk, though, I think packs a bit more of a punch.
He's going on a much more different roller coaster ride here, and he's about to go on another one as Hulk is waiting for him to get to his feet.
Oh, look at this full Nelson slam. Look at the height. Look at he was almost up into the lights.
He flew. He got tossed up into the ceiling, and Dylan's going to break up the cover at 2. That was almost a match. That wasn't so close to the other team's corner.
Kyle back up to his feet, immediately gets dropped with a clothesline and makes the tag back into Dylan Young. Oh my goodness. How did he get his leg that high?
Going off and seeing somebody's jaw basically shatter like that off of that huge kick.
Now Hulk with Kyle Matthews, who is not the legal participant right now. Referee Ernest Wright's got to get Kyle out of the ring. Hulk might do it for him. Hulk, a 1-man well, I guess in this case, 2-man wrecking crew.
Working them both at the same time. Dylan has been able to match him so far, I would say, in the power game. I mean, he's able to deliver that massive kick earlier, the Hulk.
Big shot to the lower back. You know, something that's going to be really interesting here with this brand expansion now as well. Each brand having their respective rosters is to kind of be keeping an eye on the tag team division on both the men's and the women's side as both brands kind of vie for #1 contendership simultaneously.
Yeah, there's gonna be some. We're gonna see those titles appearing quite a lot. I feel like, especially with how often they've changed hands, especially as of late on the women's side as well. I mean, it's gonna be crazy to see what these teams end up doing to try to have a piece of the pie here in FWE. So these brands, they're gonna be adding some new things to the shows that we probably haven't seen before. As a cover is in and a kick out of 2.
Powerful kick out there by Hulk. Still a lot left in the tank, and we may end up seeing, as you alluded to, we may end up seeing those, whoop, hold on, big knee, into the cover again, a little slow to get to that pin was referee Ernest Wright, and Hulk will kick out at 1, but our main event tonight, women's Disney Tag Team titles on the line, a rematch from Combat Evolved. The Daughters of Thanos, now champions, putting the belts on the line against the former champions, Rapunzel and Belle of the Disney Queens, and we now know, based off of these latest draft picks, that the Disney Queens, they'll be a part of the Thursday night roster. Daughters of Thanos are heading to Saturday nights as Dylan Young with the Swanton on Hulk.
Thor immediately going to break it up before we get the 1 count. Looks like Thor has been fresh for a little while. He might need to be tagged in very soon, but Dylan's going to go for the top rope again.
Second Swanton. Cover in by Dylan. Looking for a massive pinfall, and he'll get it. The Thrill Seekers topple the Friends from Work.
Here are your winners, Dylan and Kyle Matthews, the Thrill Seeker.
To be honest, we could call that one an upset.
Yeah, if you're looking to make a statement to get back up in an upward contendership, statement made.
Like hammer, straight like steel, they come to make the crowd feel.
It's definitely no small feat to be able to pin somebody like Hulk, and like I mentioned, Dylan was able to match him in the power game throughout the whole course of the match, and now, coming up next, we got a preview of this matchup earlier tonight. Nick Gunther going to look for a little bit of revenge, if you will, on Will Turner.
And we also understand the last picks of the night for Thursday Night Throwdown in the draft are coming up next as well. As the FWE draft continues here in Madison Square Garden, the final pick of the night for Thursday Night Throwdown is in. And Jack, I cannot believe that of all people, Commissioner Woody is making this particular pick.
This is kind of a shocker here. RJ Bishop suspended before Combat Evolved because of a kick that he had on Commissioner Woody that sent him through a table, and Woody decided to put him on his brand anyway.
Ernie the Keebler, former Royal Rumble winner, also heading to Thursday nights. The K-Pop Demon Hunters will be heading to that brand as well. And Autumn Brooks, former Hardcore champion, will be joining the Thursday Night Throwdown brand. And you talk about RJ Bishop and Woody and the controversy that surrounds them. Here comes a man that's kind of right in the middle of all of it. Flanking Nick Gunther. Nick with that shroud that we've been very familiar with back when he was the Shadow Lord. Still wears that, but unmasked by RJ Bishop back at Bash at Tatooine. And I gotta wonder, obviously he's ticked off with the events that happened at Combat Evolved with William Turner kind of stealing his persona to have that sneak attack, but how do you think he has to feel that a suspended RJ Bishop has gone in the draft before he has?
He's got to be ticked off about that. I mean, I'm still honestly kind of in shock that Woody was the commissioner who ended up choosing RJ Bishop, and it was this early in the draft, still round 3, I would say it's still pretty early on.
And his opponent, accompanied by the captain, Jack, representing the crew from Manchester, England, weighing in at 200 pounds, the men's world champion, William Turner.
Jack Sparrow flanking the new Tri-Wizard champion, William Turner, to even the odds out here. We saw earlier tonight, William Turner revealed the Black Pearl crew officially drafted to Thursday nights. This is a non-title matchup, but I don't really think the title matters in this. For Nick, it's just all about retribution for what went down this past Thursday night.
And Nick obviously taking that action a little bit personal. I feel like, at the same time, I understand Nick might be a little bit frustrated that there was, I guess we'll say gimmick infringement there from Will Turner, but at the end of the day, it had nothing really to do with Nick. It was all just about Will Turner trying to use his tactics to outthink the family, outthink Michael Norman, and it worked in his favor. I can't say I blame him necessarily for trying to get a little bit tricky when it comes to the family.
Absolutely. I mean, it worked, and it continues the streak of those that held the power briefcases successfully cashing in and walking out with championship gold. It's been done by 4 individuals now across both the men's and the women's rosters. Is nice DDT there by William Turner. And just to kind of add to the frustration of Nick Gunther, also had an opportunity this past Thursday night to win the Intercontinental Championship from Carlos Zimmerman and was unsuccessful. He's been on a losing streak as of late, to be honest, as Nick Gunther when he's been in the championship picture. Twice he lost winning the Tri-Wizard Championship against RJ Bishop, and now most recently losing to Carlos.
Cover here. And the kick out at 1 is Will Turner. I mean, you're correct in terms of statistically, he has been on that losing streak, but I mentioned it before, it doesn't necessarily feel like Nick has been on the losing end of that rivalry with RJ, because ultimately I feel like he got what he wanted out of it anyway. He came back healthy and cleared to compete before RJ did, despite losing the first ambulance match. And then the mask versus mask match, RJ ended up getting suspended and losing the Tri-Wizard Championship.
Gunther up top, hits the boot right to the face of William Turner. Yeah, you're right. In terms of what he's wanted to accomplish outside of holding a title belt here in FWE, Nick Gunther has been very successful, but you just kind of get that feeling at some point we are going to see him potentially holding a world championship here in FWE. Of course, the question will be on what brand is that going to be, as he still remains in the draft pool. Same there for Hades. And we've seen during the course of the evening, we've seen individuals drafted, singularly. We've seen factions, we've seen tag teams. You gotta wonder where Nick Gunther and Hades stand in the draft pool. Are they a tag team? Are they singles that maybe can get split up? It's going to be interesting to see. So far, we haven't really seen anybody get broken up as of yet, but we still got a draft pick to come from Saturday Night Smash tonight, and then more draft picks to come this Saturday night.
Yeah, that's going to add attention a little bit too, as some teams are going to go home tonight and know that their names have not been called in the draft yet. So there's going to be some uncertainty lingering in the air here at the end of tonight and tomorrow before we get to Saturday.
I want to remind everybody that this Saturday night, the inaugural episode of Saturday Night Smash, we will be announcing the location for the second ever iteration of the Showcase of the Immortals, FWE Paramount. So be sure to join us for that episode. We will continue on the FWE draft as well here inside of the historic Madison Square Garden.
And of course, after that, we'll return to the Fantasy Dome here for continuing these new episodes leading up to the build for our first ever return to one of our older PLEs. We'll be heading to Fantasia later on.
William Turner, second rope. Oh, was looking maybe for a Hurricane running, and a reversal into a backstabber by Nick Gunther.
Vicious backstabber by Nick, and working on those legs now. Now Nick gonna go for a moonsault or some kind of a springboard attack there. Does not connect.
Oh,
look out!
Pirate's Pride uppercut by William Turner. Can he pick up the victory? Gunther gets the shoulder up. Massive,
devastating move.
Massive uppercut. Oh, into the referee. Second one. Second Pirate's Pride to Gunther. Hooks the leg, does Turner. Cover in. And William Turner pins Nick Gunther.
Here is your winner, William
That was a message, not just to Nick and Hades, but to the entire FWE roster that that's what he's capable of as the Tri-Wizard champion.
Well, people wondered if William Turner used the briefcase to his advantage, but may hold the title for only a short amount of time. As you said, that might be the answer right there as he takes Gunther to task. And up next, it's the final draft pick for Saturday Night Smash and the women's tag team titles on the line in our main event. Well, as the FWE draft continues on, it's our final pick of the night for Saturday Night Smash, and a big one in the closing stages of this evening's episode. The family bring the tag team championships over to Saturday night, but I can't help but look in the lower left. Craven, there's another of those new names on the roster. He'll be a part of Saturday Night Smash.
Craven the Hunter joining Saturdays alongside somebody who he has history with, Spider-Man, so maybe a little bit of intrigue behind those two picks. You can also see Levi McIntyre and Shaggy Rogers, the winner of the Men's Guardian of the Ring tournament, also joining Saturday nights.
Kind of interesting, Shaggy Rogers coming up here late in the draft tonight. We were just talking about the fact that we are revolving around to a return to a PLE on August 2nd.
Is a tornado tag team match, and it's for the Women's Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challenger, the Prince and Queen.
Didn't want to cut off our ring announcer Mike Rome, but you go back to Fantasia this August, and it was the very first PLE Fantasia where Shaggy Rogers won the Tri-Wizard Championship in an 8-man ladder match. So you got to think that, depending on how his career goes here in the early stages of Saturday Night Smash, he'd love to get back to that PLE, maybe have Lightning Strike twice be in the championship picture.
Very well be the case.
Belle and Rapunzel, we saw them lose the Women's Disney Tag Team title belts at Combat Evolved. They invoke their title rematch here tonight against the Daughters of Thanos. Disney Queens and Daughters of Thanos have already gone in the draft earlier on tonight.
The Women's Tag Team Champions,
So what makes this matchup even more interesting, as mentioned, since both of these teams have been drafted here this evening, this is not only a matchup for the belts, but this is also a matchup to determine which brand these belts are heading to next week. Daughters of Thanos, a part of the Saturday Night Smash roster now. The Disney Queen's going to be on Thursday nights.
One thing that I'm also thinking about in this matchup, and we kind of talked about it a little bit earlier, but the Disney Queens, they're sort of used to the numbers game. They're not going to have that in this matchup tonight, but there are other 3 members in that faction still recuperating from that absolutely, as you said, hellacious match at Combat Evolved involving the Hell in a Cell structure.
They, along with Disney Strong Style, have been given medical leave here to recuperate from that matchup. I mean, we ended up seeing individuals thrown through the top of the cell, thrown off of the cell. It was absolutely insane what we ended up seeing. So we will not see any of those representatives here tonight. More than likely we'll not see any of them represented this Saturday night as well. So it's go it alone, put up or shut up here for Belle and Rapunzel as they look to continue to make history here and be 4-time tag team champions. And there you see all 4 individuals involved here as the bell rings. Tornado style rules.
Rules, which means no tagging necessary. I'm pretty sure that would mean no disqualifications as well. We're gonna get crazy between these 2 teams here tonight.
You have to wonder what type of matchup this is, who that would favor, because you kind of look at recent history, they've all been involved in matchups similar to this. Of course, Belle and Rapunzel, they were involved in that Escape the Brig match against the Unholy Union. For the Daughters of Thanos, they were involved in that 4 tag team eliminator match on the pre-show of Combat Evolved.
They can certainly hold their own in this match type, but it really just comes down to, I think that's going to mean it's going to come down to something like endurance. There was a stunner off the top rope there.
I mentioned about the fact that Belle and Rapunzel, now 3-time holders of those Disney Tag Team Championships, is not sure if that was boot to face or boot to kendo stick to face there. Gamora to Belle. But with the Daughters of Thanos now holding the tag team title belts, they sit tied for second most reigns in the tag team division, 2 apiece, along with Team Let It Go.
Gamora got a steel chair in the middle of the ring.
Oh!
Right to the skull of Bell.
Oh, gosh!
Oh, my. A diving knee drop there by Gamora in the middle of the ring. Nebula is wrenching on the arm of Rapunzel on the outside. And full submission has to happen between the ropes.
Exactly. To your point, the pressure right now is on Bell and Gamora, since the action on the outside between Nebula and Rapunzel cannot determine if the belts are retained or change hands.
But this is good for the Daughters of Thanos as long as Gamora was able to stay on the offensive there, but she just got taken down by Bell. And now Bell, oh my goodness.
Able to leap over Gamora and still scores the leg drop across the throat of Gamora. Coffin drop by Nebula.
This is all allowing Rapunzel time to recover. Now she's going to have something to say about this as she gets back in the middle of the ring. Oh, double axe handle, 2 for the price of 1.
Both Disney queens down. And now Gamora gonna go to work here on Rapunzel. Nebula set up in the corner. Oh my gosh!
Holy crap.
Almost a Canadian Destroyer DDT. Cover in on Bell, who powers out at 1.
It shows you that there is still plenty of fight left in Bell for her to kick out at 1 after all that.
Rapunzel down, Nebula on the outside. Bell now throating Gamora on that top rope. No disqualifications or countouts in this tornado-style tag match. Anything goes. Referee's only in there to count the 3 or look for the tap out. Oh, what a spear!
Massive spear to the outside, drops Bell, completely shuts her momentum down. Rapunzel, oh gosh.
Elbow from the top turnbuckle all the way to the floor on the outside. Tried to get over there to save Bell, but could not before the shoulder breaker.
Listen to this crowd. These people are going absolutely crazy. There's always a big match feel when you're inside the Madison Square Garden.
Yes, absolutely. It's been electric here tonight. You add into the fact that we've had the draft here this evening, the unknowing of what brand individuals are going to be going to, and we get to do it all over again in about 48 hours time on Saturday Night Smash.
Gamora just made a massive kendo stick on the inside of the ring, covers in, and she kicks out.
Count at 1 after a kendo stick shot. It's got to be a little bit frustrating for Bell this late into the matchup. Rapunzel wearing out Nebula with a steel chair. And Bell, might have been thinking about the hello Bell and got caught. Oh, Gamora's got Rapunzel up top and takes her down.
This might be it. Bell's working her way to her feet, though, and she's going to be able to break up that pin.
Massive clothesline by Bell. Gamora back to her feet immediately, though. And now all 4 women inside the ring. I think Gamora, the back of her head, might have bounced off that steel chair.
Nebula in trouble here.
Oh! Big powerbomb there by Bell. Nebula in trouble as Rapunzel to the outside trying to take care of Gamora. Actually puts her back inside the ring.
Bell just going to work with that kendo stick, dishing out all kinds of punishment. This is exactly the scenario that the Disney Queens want. Covers in.
Cover here to be a 4-time champion, and nope. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. Rapunzel's got Gamora up and down with the snuggly duckling. Shoots the half, goes for the cover, and Nebula's right there. Not going to even allow the ref's hand to come down for 1.
Nebula recovered at the worst possible time for Bell. She had no opportunity really to go for that pinfall.
Nice go behind there by Bell, rescuing Rapunzel in the corner. Now Rapunzel has Gamora up in the powerbomb situation. Takes her down. Bell is double cover. Cover is in. Kick out by Nebula, now the cover by Rapunzel, and a kick out by Gamora.
I wasn't sure which pinfall that Ernest Wright was counting there, and I guess that the Daughters of Thanos are pretty lucky they weren't counting the one involving Gamora, because that would have been the end of the match.
Couple of opportunities there for the Disney Queens to regain the tag team titles as now both Nebula and Gamora roll to the outside. Disney Queens not going to let him breathe.
Oh, I think Gamora just barely got the knees up there. Allows her to get back up to her feet. Dish out some punishment to Belle. This might be their last window of opportunity.
It's a 2v1 right now for Gamora, though, because Nebula's down.
Disney Queens have all the momentum in the world. Oh, man.
Massive kendo stick shot there to the Gamora. Might have actually busted Gamora up on the side of her face. Belle now with a big slam onto the floor. Again, the Disney Queens doing a good job of keeping 2-on-1 advantages, but that might even the odds. Kendo stick right to the top of Rapunzel's head. And another time.
Shattering that kendo stick across the head of Rapunzel, and the momentum kind of going a little bit back and forth on the other side of the ring. Rapunzel just got delivered into the steel steps.
Gamora with a massive back body drop to Belle as well, and all of a sudden it's like somebody flipped a switch. Now the Daughters of Thanos are firmly in control.
All they really have to do is get somebody inside the ring, hit a big move, and that's the end of the match. I mean, cross body connects.
Did she get all of it is the question. Now goes in for the cover to retain the tag team titles, and Rapunzel with a kick out.
I think she got most of it, but it was clearly not enough to keep Rapunzel down. That big super kick might, though.
That might indeed, might have beheaded Rapunzel. The cover in, and the Daughters of Thanos will retain the titles. They will bring them to Saturday nights.
Here are your winners, and still Women's Tag Team Champions, Kat Morgan and
Tornado tag team match, brutal as always, but a great job nonetheless by the Daughters of Thanos, and they will be taking those women's tag team titles over to Saturday nights.
They deny the Disney Queens another opportunity at the top of the women's tag division. As you said, they head to Saturday nights. Many individuals now know where they stand, but many still hang in the balance. We will find out the continuation of the FWE draft this Saturday night on Saturday Night Smash. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you this Saturday night for another episode of Fantasy Wrestling Entertainment.